Mike is live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SL Aviation Network Podcast number 13. We're once again back here at beautiful, and I do mean beautiful, St. Aubrey Airport. And we have the St. Aubrey staff here, owners and staff with us, and as well as AW and our producer Kyle. So we thank you all so much for joining us today. We got a very special show here. I will pop up the poster there for us, and don't have a lot of topics since our airport-to-airport individual is off on vacation, and I hope he's having a good one. Metmez won't be with us today, and he will be sorely missed. But we will talk a little bit about some news happenings around the grid here. And then I have a very special airport-to-airport feature for you. And then AW has an awesome video about how to do really fast sim crossings. And I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be a great segment for sure. Because everybody wants to go faster, right? That's the thing. So... tell us about your T-shirt again. The positive attitude. That's a pilot joke.
You missed it the first time around?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have this positive attitude T-shirt in Second Life. Well, it's because I have one in real life, same type of thing, and it's actually not just that it says positive attitude. It's a little joke on aviation. If you look real close, it's a primary flight display that shows a 9-degree positive pitch attitude in your aircraft. So when I was on holiday a couple of weeks ago, we went up in a helicopter, and I had my positive attitude T-shirt on, the same one. It's got the same graphics on it, and none of the pilots noticed it. They didn't say a word. It was just, I could have been wearing a blank T-shirt. They didn't even say anything.
That is strange that they didn't catch that, isn't it? They did.
Well, if they did, they were keeping it a secret.
If they say things to, maybe they just see so many different people, they just kind of tune everybody out, when you get on and just go about their day.
Yeah.
So, okay, Bull, you want to try one more time, or?
Sure, everybody hear me now? I think I know what it was.
Okay, yeah, you're sounding good now.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I don't know. I just turned, I got my sound coming over my speakers, and I switched it to come over my headset, and that's when I guess everything's okay now. I was saying before is that life's pretty good here.
Yeah.
Aki's got something to say. She's French. She don't speak English. She translates on her text thing here. So.
Mm-hmm. I don't have text chat up, so if you guys, yeah. Go ahead.
Translate. Send me if she's got.
Okay.
She was in some kind of competition here days ago. NAS, I think it is, or.
Oh yeah. The Naval Air Station she was in. Was
there
it the?
Yeah. She was in that, and she got Top Gun. Yeah.
No kidding. I ain't messing with her.
Number one with a bullet. I had a whole bunch of video.
But
I'm so lazy, I didn't put all that together for your show.
Oh man, I wish you would. Well,
I know. I'll get that for next time.
Get it for the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to work on that. Anyway, yeah, she got a 99 something. I can't remember.
Really?
99.7 something.
What?
But yeah, they had it where you come in. And they had a big cloud right in front of the airport.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of a cool idea. So it's like having a black bag on your head,
So it was a landing contest that she got that in?
Yeah.
Oh man, she got a 99. That's good.
Blue Angels or whatever they had at that place. But anyway, I don't know if I can talk about it on air. There was a little controversy, but we ended up sorting it all out.
Okay. Well, cool.
They didn't like a civilian, I think, win it.
Yeah, that could be a problem. That's happened before, and like you said, I won't bring anything up, but I've seen some issues with that before. That's good, but congratulations, Akira. That's awesome. To get a 99, that's really hard to do with.
No ILS either.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them, but I had one in an A10 that I was flying, and I went back and tried to do that again, and I could not do it. It was just a fluke, I guess. But yeah. So wow,
I'm always off center somehow. That's the thing that robs me of 99. That's like really hard for me to tell where the damn center is.
Right, that's true.
I guess the thing is they do have that. I've never used it before, but I guess in the D207, Danny D207
yes,
has auto landing or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never tried it. But they tried to say, well, all Danny planes have auto. Well, she was flying an Arrow. That's what she flies all the time. Arrow doesn't have that. And besides that, Arrow is a really hard plane because the slowest you can get that thing going is 19, which is pretty slow. But compared to some of the stuff they were doing, it looked like they were going backwards.
Yeah. Huh.
So, all in all, an Arrow is a lot harder than the plane that I saw come in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, that was good. She did good. So, congratulations, Akira. That's awesome. Myself, I've been busy with my real job, and it ended up being a little more work this summer than I want. Usually, I have about half the work that I normally have during the regular school year, but due to some stuff that they've done here, so I've been working a lot, so I haven't had time to play as much as I like to, but it's been a good week, and I'm getting ready, and I'll have some video in a couple weeks. I'm going to the Oshkosh Air Show, and I'm going to spend 4 days up there getting all my camera stuff ready and practicing. It's been so long since I've done much video work outside of the computer, outside in real life, that I've had to, get all my equipment back up and remember the camera settings and all that stuff. So I've been practicing this week, and the video I'm going to show you is kind of a result of that. I'll show you here in just a little bit. So let's go on to aviation news here, or SL news. It's not necessarily aviation news, and we are going to have an air show here at St. Aubrey on help me, August 17th. Is that correct? I believe, because I always say the wrong date. I think I was saying the 19th before, so it's the 17th. I don't think Wade's on, because if I tell the wrong date, Wade instantly texts me. But Wade's in charge of the getting the teams put together here. So we have, we're having the official team meeting tomorrow to talk with all the aerobatic teams. I've been practicing with 2 of the teams to get ready here, Team Phoenix and the Hawks. And we're also going to have the French Air Patrol, the Brazilians, the Smoke Squadron was invited, but they've never responded. So, yeah. And so, hi, Maximus Slade just IM me. And so anyway, we are working on that here, and that'll be St. Aubrey's first air show, and so I think it's going to be a good one. And we also have, I got to kill my chat here. I'm getting text chat over. So I'm going to go ahead and I've got a little promo here for Kyle's big event here coming up Sunday. He's part of the, it's kind of an introductory grand opening for the new arena for Cryptic. And it's pretty cool stuff. So here's we did a promo commercial on, and it's running on MTFB radio. So I just decided to go ahead and run that now here. So here we go.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.
The time has come. A CBL Championship night is here. Cryptic fans and CBL warriors, the moment we've all been waiting for is finally upon us. CBL makes history as we launch our very first championship belt event, and we're pulling out all the stops to give you a night of electrifying combat, roaring energy, and next-level action. A brand new bespoke arena, 4 adrenaline-fueled fights, 1 prestigious belt, 8 elite fighters, ready to lay it all on the line. Get ready for the main event, Josh Mad Dog Dalton versus Lightning Louis Gopheller, a brutal, no-holds-barred war for the CBL Championship title. Who will rise and who will fall? But that's not all. Witness the future of champions clash in 3 epic undercard battles. Eros the Untamed versus Dr. Sev, Kyle Category 5 Storm Fury versus Trayvon the Businessman, Quinray the Troublemaker Ghost versus Robert the Castle Vegas. Mark the date, Sunday, July 13th at 1 p.m. SLT. Tickets are limited. Secure yours now. Buy tickets on SL Marketplace. This is more than a fight night. It's CBL legacy in the making.
Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast wrecking at the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Look.
Nobody hearing the sound on that one?
I heard it just fine.
Okay.
Heard it.
Bull
Yeah,
wasn't hearing
actually,
it for
it's
some
so
reason.
loud it
So.
blew my head off.
Sorry, yeah. We made it loud on purpose. So Kyle, what's your thoughts on that? You on the boxing match?
I am. It's going to be an epic night. Well, we were just last night. We were stress testing the media in the arena just to make sure everything worked properly. It was a big old party. Some of me and some of the fellow other boxers, we were jumping in the ring and we were duking it out, beating each other out. Just it's going to be one heck of a night. There's still seats available if you want them. It's something you don't want to miss. Don't just come for me. There are several other fighters out there that are good, that are trying to get their name out. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
Robert Vegas, he is phenomenal. Josh and Lewis, that'll be a fight to see. I am in the ring with Lewis sparring all the time. I am, of my own admission, I am on my back more times than I can count.
Why are you called Category 5?
It's actually a funny story, and I'll try to be brief with it. My first fight, so we were given we're given commentator cards for just to let the commentators know, like, hey, your ring name, your record, what color shorts you're wearing. I didn't put in a ring name because it was literally my first fight. I didn't think I needed one, so they gave me one. And then I earned the name by knocking out my opponent within 30 seconds.
So Category 5 is a play on his name, Storm Fury. So he's a Category 5 Storm. Yeah.
Yep, got that.
So
I didn't even notice that part. Yeah.
how come your opponent's called the Businessman? I don't know.
That's just. I mean, every time I don't want to speculate, but every time I see him, he's wearing a suit. So I had to, if I had to guess.
Okay, that's good. So he might be a hitman or something, for wearing a suit. That's cool though. But it's great. They got a brand new arena, and it really is impressive. And their whole sim there, their whole sim build is really great. And so we took up a sponsorship there this past week. They use our radio stream there all the time, and we're doing, we're promoting them, they're promoting us, and so it's a good thing, I mean, we reach out. It's kind of a outreach thing for us. We try to communicate the good news of aviation, across the grid to other groups that don't normally do aviation. So, that's kind of what our work is there. But I enjoy going to the fights. It's a lot of fun. And Mike Mapp, he's a very good pilot, excellent aviator, and he's the announcer there for him, and he's phenomenal.
Was that his voice in that
Yeah,
commercial?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not his voice in the commercial.
Oh,
That's an
gonna
AI
say, that's
voice
not-
in the commercial, actually.
oh,
But
okay. Yeah, it sounded
the-
a little bit like a real
yeah,
flight
but
announcer.
if you look on our YouTube channel, I posted a video of Kyle's last fight on there, and you'll see him announcing. We showed it on the podcast last week, and yeah, it's like being at a real boxing match when you hear him. I mean, he's got it nailed, and he doesn't do that for a living or anything. He's just really good at it. So,
Oh yeah.
anybody else got any newsworthy items that I might have missed or not aware of? Of course, if you're into sailing, you can come over here to St. Aubrey. They have, I think, Bull, you can correct me, you still have 3 races a week here, don't you? And I think, well, might have lost Bull there. Maybe he's taking a break. So, yeah, they still race. I know they race on Saturdays. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I got multiple screens up here. Sorry
Okay,
about that.
yeah,
I got
sorry.
multiple screen. I was clicking on the wrong screen.
Okay, I
Anyway,
understand.
yeah, they still do. They
Okay.
have 3 races. I don't know. It's definitely the best groups that I have ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very.
Water here is so low lag because it's not
Yeah.
populated.
Yeah,
Like open.
in a way, it's kind of bad. Maybe we shouldn't talk about it because you'll get more people here, and then you start getting more lag.
No,
But
that is definitely a dilemma. And,
Yeah.
Well, if you find my lost airplane, just let me know where it is.
you
I
got
lost it 2 days ago. It's somewhere out there in those water sims.
the race courses out there cover quite a large area too. It's I did that video for them back. What was it, last year, last fall, and that was almost a year ago now, I guess. And it was camming out. They cover quite a few sims on those races, so it's a lot of fun to watch. And I'd love to have the time to get good enough to participate in one, but right now that's kind of out of the question.
yeah, and the person, the gal that takes the videos of their races, does a
Oh, you're cutting out again, Bull.
now they do have a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I put that in the video I made here for you guys last year. I posted that link to their YouTube channel as well. Yeah, they got some good videos on there. She runs the races and does the videos too, doesn't she?
No, the gal that runs the races, got I don't know, a newsletter or something she puts out. But there's another gal that records the races.
Okay. Yeah, it's very well done, and it looks like everybody's just having so much fun with it. Okay, we're going to move on here. I got some weird window popped up over here on my recording screen here, streaming. I think we're okay. I hate it when these random messages pop up that I've never seen before. Okay, so since our resident aviation airport expert reporter is not here, I went ahead and did an airport-to-airport video, and so I'm going to go ahead and run that. It ended up being a little longer. I hope I don't bore people to death. with it, a little longer than I expected, but I hope you find it interesting. So here we go. This is it's actually, there's like 3 different names you'll hear on here. It's Columbus Municipal Airport, and it's also Columbus Air Park, and it was formerly Bakalar Air Force Base. So, and before that it was Camp Atterbury something or other in World War II. So it's had been through a number of iterations, but now it's a civilian municipal airport, but it still has a lot of military traffic there due to the Camp Atterbury, which is 15 miles north of here, is an active Army training center. The National Guard is there a lot. So anyway, here is my airport to airport video, and it's a real life video this time.
Okay, this is my airport to airport video from real life. I've stepped out of the matrix here, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to do an airport video of a real life airport, which is just by road it's a couple miles from my house. By air it's less than a mile from the house. We're on the flight path for one of the runways here, so a lot of planes fly over our house on a daily basis. And it's been part of my life since I was a little kid, this airport. I've had been out here many times. It used to be a military base. It was donated, the land for the airport was donated by farmers back in 1943, I believe, for World War II. It became a training base for paratroopers and glider pilots. So a lot of the glider pilots that participated in D-Day were trained here at Bakalar Airport. So that's pretty cool. And they have a museum there now, an air museum. I don't know that I'll get it in today's video, but they have a museum that has, they don't have a whole glider in there, but they've got like the glider cockpit and some other memorabilia from the airport in those days. They had a wooden control tower that was taken down, and the new one, the one that replaced it, was put up, I think, in 1952, and it's still there, although they do have plans to take that tower down and put in a new tower. And it is manned most of the time. I think when it's not manned, then the air traffic control is handled out of Indianapolis, which is north of here. So as you can see, as I drive here, this is out in the farm country. I'm still actually in our city limits, and you can see we got cornfields all over the place here, soybean fields. That's the two main crops here. During the Vietnam War, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that here later on in the video, but during the Vietnam War, the Air Force Reserves here manned the C-119s, and we have one on display here at the airport. They brought it, I think they purchased it in Montana. It's not flyable, so they had to bring it back. I think they brought it back on a train. They took it apart, took the wings off of it, and brought it back on a train a couple years ago. It's probably maybe even 5 years ago now. And they have it on display out here outside the museum. So that C-119, they called them flying boxcars, and when I was a kid, it was a daily occurrence to see flying boxcars flying around over our houses here around the city. as they were training. And the only active Air Force Reserve unit to be activated in Vietnam was here at this base. And they flew the AC-119, so it was the armed C-119s, and we saw them flying over. There's a military training facility that's about 15 miles west of here, northwest of here, and it's called Camp Atterbury, and it's still an active military base. They do a lot of training and live fire exercises and things out there. And we used to see the C-119s, the AC-119s flying over out there, shooting their big guns down at the ground at night. They had tracers on it, looked like laser beams shooting out of the planes that you could see them in the distance. So that was pretty cool. But as we go up around here now, you maybe saw the C-119. Dead ahead is the terminal building. You can see here. And there's a restaurant in there called The Hangar. And it's a great hangout. You can sit in there, and big picture windows in the restaurant so you can watch the planes take off and land and whatever. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of National Guard planes and helicopters fly in and out of here too. Dead ahead of me is a facility called the Propeller, and that's a maker space. You can pay a monthly membership, I think 30 or 40 bucks, and come in and use machineries, machines and welders, and do all kinds of stuff there. There's a museum there. We're just passing on our right, and let's see if I pull around here and get you a good shot of the C-119. Of course, it says do not enter right here. There's nobody here, so there's the C-119. Okay, so here's our Charlie 19. It's a C-119. These planes flew out here in the 50s and 60s. And we used to see a lot of them going over our city all day long sometimes. They're designed to haul cargo and paratroopers, and the back end swings open so that they can drop out cargo, or they got side doors back there that they can open up for the paratroopers to jump out of. So it's pretty cool. We'll take a little tour around the plane here. So anyway, here's the Charlie 19, they call it, and pretty impressive plane. When I was a kid, like I said, I used to see these fly over. My brother-in-law was in the Air Force Reserves out here, and he would bring me out here with him sometimes during the week when there wasn't much going on, and let me climb up in the planes that sitting in the hangar, and I got to sit up in the cockpit and everything. He had tried to arrange me to take a ride on one, but that never happened. I wished it would have. So there she is, a beautiful flying bird. I hope someday they can restore this. They did do the restoration as such that if someday they get the funding, they could return it to flight status, but I don't know if that will ever happen. That's a big if. And out here across the field, I'm going to show you the beacon tower, which I think is really cool. It's a vintage beacon tower from the 50s, and it was I heard that they were going to take it down, but I hope they don't. It's functional at night with the green and white light for civilian airport. And of course our control tower here, which is also very cool. I love towers, and they have plans to take this tower down and put up a new one. I'll find a picture. I'm hoping to put a picture of that in this video along with it, but that was built I think in 52 or 54, and It replaced the original tower that was here, that was put up by the Army Air Corps in the 40s. So they tore the wooden tower down and put this one up, and it's been there ever since. So it's manned a lot of the time, but if it's not manned, then Indianapolis handles all the air traffic control here. So, but they do have a controller here most of the time, at least during the day. Okay, so I'm here in the museum, and here's some pictures of what the airport looked like at one time. And here's what I remember the main base when you came in. And there's just a lot of memorabilia in here from World War II. It's a very well put together little museum. And they have a veterans gallery in here. All kinds of cool stuff. And they do have a flight simulator here that you can use free of charge. And show you some of the stuff that they got. A lot of stuff, pictures and memorabilia, uniforms. Cummins Engine Company is headquartered here in Columbus, Indiana. In fact, I worked for them for 30 years, and this was a generator set that was from World War II. So we had a company here that's no longer in business called Arvind Industry, and they made radios and things, and this is one of their products. It was a radio receiver BC639A, and it was made here in our city. Very cool stuff. Now here's a glider cockpit. They don't have a whole glider plane, but they do have a cockpit, and so here's what it looks like on the inside. Very, very cool. So, yeah, can you imagine flying in one of these? You only got one way to go, and that's down. So, yeah, very cool. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed my little video tour here of Bakalar Airport. And I wanted to close out with a clip I did shoot. I did catch a C-130 doing touch and goes. I couldn't catch him on the touch end, but I did catch him on the go end. So by the time I got back down to the touch end, he had quit practicing. So anyway, it's pretty cool. And then I want to close out with some scenes and pictures that I shot back, I think it was in 2019, before the world got turned upside down with COVID. We had an air show here with the Canadian aerobatic team, the Snowbirds, which was very cool, and there was some other planes and aviators here as well. So please enjoy the Bakalar Air Show back from 2019.
Okay, is everybody still awake? I hope I didn't put everybody to sleep with that one. But,
Oh,
uh,
still here, still
That's
here.
very
Did I
impressive.
see a KC-135 in the air there?
yeah, that not normally here, but that was here for the air show. They
Ah, I
they
was
flew that
wondering
up.
what that four-engine jet was. I mean,
Yeah, they flew that over.
turbo fans on there must
Uh,
have been a newer
yeah,
fit.
they
Yeah.
didn't they didn't land that here. Although they have, see, here's the thing. I go out there to take pictures and video to put on here, and there's hardly any planes flying. I don't know why, because the weather's been good. There's no, and normally you go out there on, especially during the week, there's all kinds of planes, and we have a lot of corporate jets and some pretty good sized jets fly in and out of here. In fact, Air Force Two has landed here 2 or 3 times when Mike Pence is from this town, and when he was vice president, he came home to see his mother a few times, and of course they flew in, was it 2 or 3 C-130s with SUVs on them and all kinds of stuff, and ahead of them, and then uh, in fact his mother just lived two blocks from me over here. So when he came over to her house, then there was ambulances, fire trucks, police cars, Humvees, SUVs, black SUVs all over the place here. It's crazy, but yeah. So, but they can land big planes here as well. So there's if you saw the map thing I put up, the runways they cross. The shorter runway is the one that goes over my house here. So they don't always use that one. That's not the main runway, but there's days when they're landing from that direction, and planes are always going over. And the C-130s,
One of the
they'll
funniest scenes from the movie Airport were when that family had the plane flying over there.
What base
yeah,
is that?
it's well, it used to be called Bakalar, uh, but it's Columbus. It's in southern Indiana. Uh,
Yeah, I thought maybe that was Indiana with all the basketball hoops. I see.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We have one. I don't have one on my garage, but they have them all over the place here. But yeah, so see, all that land for that airport was donated by farmers here for in World War II. Uh, so I mean, it's a big area. It covers a big area. I don't know how many acres they actually donated, but the airport facility, of course, now is not as big. What the airport actually owns is not as big as it used to be, but because where I work in the college there, that was part of the airport. In fact, one of the buildings in that campus complex used to be the base hospital that they remodeled, and a lot of the barracks they converted. The barracks and other like mess halls and things like that, they converted to businesses took them over, or some there was even a church took one over. A couple churches took used them, and but most of those are gone now. They've tore most of those down and just put new buildings in. So, but it's very historic. There's a lot more history there I could have told about, but I just didn't have enough time uh, with it. But they train the glider pilots here, and they still train paratroopers here because the Chinooks will fly over my house here, and I can see over in the distance, and then they drop paratroopers out, or the C-130s fly over and drop paratroopers out as well. So they'll make a lot of passes. Once they start, they'll go like all afternoon dropping paratroopers out over there. And there's Blackhawks fly over, and a lot of Hueys fly in and out over there. So it's very interesting. Go to that restaurant, and it's fun. We go over there for breakfast a lot of times and sit in there and look up tail numbers of planes that come in, and Saturday mornings, if the weather's really nice, a lot of people fly in their private planes to eat breakfast or brunch. So you see a lot of different planes out there. So, yeah, it was that air show. See, they've had several different air shows here, and that Snowbirds one was probably the biggest one, and that was really awesome. And but they say, well, we can't make money, we can't do this, and we can't, and every couple years, then somebody will decide, well, let's try this again, and they'll have a really cool air show, and it'll be packed out. There'll be thousands of people out there, and then they claim it wasn't a success, or something was not right with it. So I don't know. It gets a little frustrating. Oh, and I didn't tell you, when I was in the museum there, I hadn't been in there for a while. I'm a member. I donate money to them every year, and the old guy came when I walked in. They were having a meeting, but he came out and said, I told him what I was doing. He said, yeah, that's fine. He said, you can take pictures. Who do you represent? I said, well, I represent the museum because I'm a member here. So he goes back and tells the museum director. So I'm in there when I was doing that video of the Cummins engine. He walked up. I cut it off. I should have filmed it, but I didn't. I cut it off, and he wanted me to come over. He said, you're a member here, right? And I go, yeah. He said, how come you're not on my docent list, to be a tour guide in there? And I said, well, due to my schedule,
paid work for you.
Yeah, it changes every 8. My schedule changes every 8 weeks and whatever, and I just, I want to do it. I'd really enjoy doing this, and he said, well, come over tomorrow. That was yesterday. So he said, come over tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And I was going to, but then I got busy with some other stuff and I didn't make it over. I'll go over next Friday and me, because you got to go through some training for it and everything. They give you a free shirt, so it's worth it's worth. But it's a nice little museum, and those guys, they got an active group there. Well, you saw those guys put that plane back together. They did that. It was all volunteer work, and they got the funds to move it, of course, which was, I don't know how I saw the bill on that, how much it cost them, but it was pretty expensive. Podcast 13, not 3. Is that what? Okay. Okay.
On the YouTube it says 3rd podcast.
Okay, probably typo when I typed it in. I'll edit that when we get it. It'll be fixed. Okay, so we'll move on here now. AW, you're up.
I'm up. Okay. I'm going to point towards center field.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so, I've been doing a bit of a series on how to have a better experience in vehicles. And so we've done, how many have I done? Just one video of that, or two? I think it's one or two that
I think you've done two.
Yeah. So we've done, up to this point, we've covered mostly things you do for your viewer, changes that you'd want to make for your viewer and ways that you would adjust it in different settings. And there are plenty of settings. Firestorm is great and Second Life is great, but in terms of the number of settings they have, it can be very confusing, especially when there is no real manual for all that stuff. So that's what we've been trying to do, to figure all that out. But today's video is not about that. Today's video is about how to configure you, meaning the avatar, and a little bit about the plane. So that's what we'll have a look at today.
So you ready to run it?
Yeah, let's run it.
Here we go.
And welcome back. Here we are at St. Aubrey again. So I'm looking at my script rating board here. Not everyone has this board, but it's very useful to have. since it shows not only the number of scripts you have, but also the memory usage. And this is critical here, the CPU time. If you don't have one of these, you can go and check Avatar Health scripts right here. And it will give you, well, 2 out of 3. You get the memory usage and the number of scripts, kind of. This is 11, and you don't really see that. So I guess you just get the memory used. But it will at least help somewhat. To demonstrate the difference, if I go to, say, my club avatar, the biggest difference is this avatar has a number of attached HUDs. It has an AO, which I have on now. There's a HUD here, there's one over here, there's one here. And you can see the difference is pronounced. We're at 2.5, and then the CPU time is quite a bit higher. If you don't want to be a cat, that's understandable. What you can do is create a travel version of yourself. And so I've created versions that I indicate with the term minimal. And when I switch to minimal, it's the same body, the clothes or whatever I want to make them, of course, but you can see there are no HUDs attached. It's important that you detach the HUDs because if you reattach them, even if they're off, they will contribute to all of this stuff. So for our purposes of trying to cross sims well, you do not want them attached at all. It just simply will not matter whether they're on or off. You just don't want them attached. So this isn't bad. We're in the yellow, which is okay. I've got a little bit more in terms of memory usage. So I'm going to go back to the previous avatar, which was even better. Now the best one I have is Invisible Avatar here, which has 0. Invisible Avatar is basically just a system avatar that has a full body alpha. So you can see the numbers here are what they call perfect. So there's only one script running, which I think is the bridge. And very low in terms of memory use and CPU time. So let's just go ahead and use that avatar, which is nice to have. I'll get rid of the board now. And the next thing you're going to do is you'll take a look at your vehicle. I think this only works with Firestorm, so you got to have more script info. And what comes up is the number of scripts. So we've got a lot, but the critical number that we're looking for is the milliseconds of CPU time. This is very low, 0.066. Now that's quiescent, meaning that things are not actually running yet in the aircraft. But when we sit and turn the engine on, we'll get to see what the difference is. So let's just sit. We'll turn on the engine. I'm going to adjust my sit position a little bit. That's probably good. So when I turn the motor on, I have to wait for it to warm up. If we look at the same thing now, it's still pretty good. Still pretty good. We've gone physical now, so it must be more, but not too much. So let's just leave it at that, and we're going to taxi out to the runway. Let's put on our flaps. Nav lights, landing lights. All right, here we are. I've just crossed into new sim, and let's look at the script now. So you can see it's quite a bit higher. The reason is every time you come into a new sim, all that stuff has to be loaded. And so the more time we spend in the sim, it'll have a tendency to go down as it gets fully loaded. But this is still pretty good for an active aircraft. So this is the kind of number you're going to see with an aircraft that's optimized. It was about 1/4 of a millisecond. And I'm trying to keep it so it doesn't really exceed that, if possible. All right. Now the next thing is we're just going to increase our draw distance to right around 300 or so. And I'll just give us a little bit of a boost there, gear up, and we're just going to get up and fly. Flaps up. And now let's do the other important thing when you're in an aircraft is to try to get high enough so that the ground textures are not relevant to this whole process. So I'm going to try to get up to about 300, which seems to be the sweet spot around here. Okay, there we are. So we're at about 300 meters. That's, I think, the sweet spot. And we'll go to pretty good afterburner. So at this point, we are doing about 50 meters a second. But the plane is able to handle that. I wouldn't be able to test the script load because we're not in the sims long enough to actually see the difference before you enter the next sim. So what I'll do is we'll go through a bunch of sims at this very high speed. It only takes a few seconds to go to the next sim. You can see as long as we try to keep around 300 or so, I'm keeping the afterburner, but I'm not going to full 80. As long as we're able to keep around 300 or so, let me just slow down and make some turns here. You can see the textures that would normally be really hammering us. They're far enough away that they just simply don't load, and that's exactly what you want if you want to try to avoid the issue of excessive texture loading affecting your treble here in Second Life. And that's one of the secrets of doing quick sim crossing with boats and with aircraft is you want to try to get your draw distance and your altitude right. I can't do that with a boat, but what you can do is stick to the water sims and just try to stay away from areas where you're going to be inundated with a lot of textures. Okay, so we've kind of navigated our way through some of these sims now. Let's go back up to afterburner speed again. So now we're at about 45 meters a second. Now the display, it says knots, but that's really meters per second times 10, more or less. You know, it's a bit of a neighborhood thing. But here we are, and we're doing just fine. You know, these are speeds that people would normally consider to be just outside the realm of good flying in Second Life. But it's okay because we've taken care of our various business in terms of the weight of our avatar, and we're trying to fly an aircraft that has a low script time. So let's just see what happens now. I'm going to put the flaps on and slow us down. What happens if we look at our script info here? It's still pretty good. Now we just passed into this sim, and it takes a little time for it to get used to the new load. Well, now that I've got the flaps and I'm only at about 60% throttle, our speed is under 20 or under 20 meters a second. So let's just kind of hover in here a little bit with our airplane. And the more time I spend in this sim, in theory anyway, the lower that number will go. Yeah, see, it's already down almost to where we had it before, which was about a quarter, so not too bad. All right, let's get the flaps up, and we'll go back to higher speed. Still around 300 meters. I like to slow it down a little bit so I'm not pulling too many G's when I go through the turns, especially with the afterburner. You're going to have real wide turns, so I just cut the throttle a little bit for these turns. Now you can see I'm descending. I'm down to 200, and the reason is we're getting closer to our destination. So now the other thing is, if you watch out on the map, you can see you enter a place that has a bunch of avatars. Every time that you go into that sim, especially if the avatars are incredibly complex and they have a lot of scripts, it's going to cause slowdowns. So just bear that in mind. I'm always looking up here to see whether or not there's going to be a surprise. And suddenly there's a whole bunch of avatars in there, and well, you just don't want that. Not if you're trying to do the best possible sim crossing. So let's now get ready for landing. I like to use easy mode for landing because it kind of takes care of the need to try to self-center the aircraft as you're coming in. .98, not bad. Now let's just vacate the runway at the end here. So what did we cover today? It was pretty much, we're not really talking about configuring the viewer. We've kind of talked about that in the past. Configuring the viewer is one of the important things you need to do in order to get good results. So I'm using basically the same settings that I had for driving in the last video. Which is, I'm only allowing 1024 resolution textures. I have a high setting, not ultra, but the draw distance, of course, is almost 300. We can lower that now because now we're on the ground. But mainly what we talked about today was the avatar and the aircraft. So the aircraft, now we've been in sim a little longer. It's already gotten below 0.2, and once we turn everything off, we'll turn the engine off and exit the aircraft. It'll go non-physical, and the various listens and other timers and things are going to stop. So the aircraft will basically enter a quiescent state at this point. Now you can't see my avatar because my avatar is my lowest load avatar. That's the one that had almost zero load. So the script time is, again, going down, and the more time that we spend here, the more it's going to settle, and it'll probably end up back below 0.1 like it was when we started. Our avatar, again, invisible avatar, which you can probably find this invisible avatar. All it is it's a full body alpha plus just some regular system avatar. If you look at the script load, it's almost none, and that works really well. I like to use these cat avatars that don't have an AO. So you can see I'm just using regular walk, stuff like that. But this is also very good for travel. So I hope this is helpful to you. And if you want to come test the Mirage, I have it at St. Aubrey. But there's a lot of airplanes that you can use to get this effect. Now, I don't know if they're going to go quite as fast. We were doing 50 meters a second quite easily. So not every plane's going to be able to handle that, but some planes can. So you can go fast if you take care of business. Okay, have a good day. See you next time.
Okay, very good. Excellent discussion there, AW.
Yeah, it's a fun one. So a little shameless plug for the Mirage. The Mirage is kind of probably the most optimized high-speed plane I've got so far.
Looks good. I'm going to get me one of those. Looks like a whole lot of fun. Let's see what I was going to ask you. About the AO. If you use the viewer AO, that doesn't count as scripts in here, does it?
I don't use the viewer AO, so I don't have any frame of reference to compare.
Okay, I use it, so and I think I've tested it before.
On the script board, you would know.
Yeah, I've got one of those script boards. I'm pretty sure I haven't checked it. It's been a while since I tested that, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Those scripts don't count in here.
It might be using a bridge, the LSL bridge.
Yeah, that's what
You don't need the bridge. You can do plenty of stuff without it.
Yeah, right.
But it just functions as one script, and it doesn't seem to really affect much. I still had it on when I was in Invisible Avatar there. I still had the bridge on. So
right. We did back when I used to do the combat with the Flying Tigers. When we have competitions, they'd put up a script board, and they wouldn't let you fly if you had any scripts at all on. You had to completely descript. So that's kind of unheard of nowadays, but then that was the rules. So, and I had one avatar that we took that thing apart, and it still showed one script no matter what I did, and it wasn't the bridge, and we never could find that script. But
you probably had it in one of your parts of your avatar or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Inside of one of them.
We looked at everything we could possibly think of, and but anyway, yeah. I mean, with the servers are a little better now than they used to be, so I don't think it's as critical for. But what you were doing there, yeah.
Well, a lot of times it's
the
time that makes the big difference. You saw
right, the script time, yeah.
Plane had something like 44 scripts. I think 43 were active, and that makes almost no difference.
Yeah.
I've flown on planes that have over 100, and they do okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the number of scripts so much
right.
as it
is the time.
The amount of time that it uses, and then if they have excessive memory load, then of course that when you go into a new sim is when
right
when that's an issue and they have to load them.
Yeah, and same way on the sim. I always check the script time on a sim, to see what it is. Of course, the number of scripts are going to affect that too, but I always try to. Of course, Gen Cell's probably script time's kind of high over there because we got a lot of stuff running. But usually, if you've got a sim where you're doing combat or racing or whatever, you want to keep as many scripts,
One of the
few
things
scripts as possible.
One of
the
the things,
sailors really stripped down them scripts.
Yeah.
one of the things that I've been trying to find out about more recently is the physics load, because sims all have a certain physics threshold. Once they get past that, their performance goes absolutely down to the tank.
Huh.
And
That's
there's
interesting.
one sim I know in particular where there's a destructible tower.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the tower is normally non-physical. It's just a regular trim link set. When you destroy it with weapons, vice weapons, it's a target. It goes, like, all the different parts of it come out. They get res and they're physical, and they're quite complex physical objects.
Yeah.
The physics load on the sim goes way up, and you suddenly get a lag spike every time. It's clockwork. You hit this thing, lag spike, and it's the only thing that's happening is an enormous physics load on the server. So that stuff is something I wish there was documentation of, because so far all we can really do is just these little impromptu experiments like that, trying to figure out what it is that's causing sims to fail, or that's causing you to have poor sim crossing.
Right.
There's no authoritative source. We have to figure it out for ourselves.
Yeah. Right. I did that years ago with some video stuff we were doing, making exploding buildings and things, and I made some buildings, and it always caused lag when we blew them up, and the parts go flying around and
sometimes
whatever.
It's a factor of the particular particles you've got.
Yeah,
those
true.
black smoke particles, for instance.
Yeah, and fire.
They really load everything up.
Yeah.
You can have a whole bunch of HD fire. It can do something similar. I think a lot of that is particles, but
yeah, great video, good information there, AW. Thank you for doing that. That's awesome. I'd like to hear some reports back from people that try it and see what success they have with it. Of course.
Yes, by all means, report back.
Yeah. Of course, I'm always an advocate to tell people to descript. When you're having trouble traveling the grid, the first and best thing you can do is get rid of a lot of scripts on you. So,
you'd be surprised
just common sense.
How much better life becomes when you make a travel version of yourself.
Yeah, right. That is true. You can make it through, because just like you said, every time you cross a sim, all that stuff has to load onto the next one.
Yeah.
So it's a very complex operation. I think I might have told you I had some involvement. Well, it was in the classroom. We did some. We set up an open sim server when I was teaching high school, and I had some kids that were really into programming and things. So we got an open sim server and set it up. Which is basically was the same, like the free version of Second Life, and you could look, we could bring up the scripts, the code, what happened when an avatar went from one sim to another, and you could see all that stuff loading up on your screen. It's like, wow, how did that, how do we even move here? With that complex stuff happening every time we cross a
one of the reasons why
sim.
It's very difficult to just have a point of view that's based on most games, where the game resides mostly on your local machine, and although it's multiplayer, and there's a lot of stuff streaming in. The stuff that's streaming in is not everything
Right.
like it is here. Everything is streaming in, and when you go through these little square border things, you're in a completely different game, really.
Yep.
You're just transferred from one to the next, and the viewer has to kind of do a dance to try to figure out how to make it look like it's all part of the same world. But
Yes.
you're probably not even on the same physical computer server that you were on as soon as you went
Right.
across the border. And most of the games that people play, even the really big, massive online games, are not like that.
Right.
It's not like that at all. So the architecture is so different. I don't think you can draw that much of a parallel.
Right. Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. And yeah, and that has been an issue sometimes when we've had. I don't know where all the servers are located now. They may be different places, but when you had a server in California, and then one, the next sim was on a server somewhere in Virginia or whatever, and
Well, they say they're in Washington now, I think.
are they
Seattle.
all there? Yeah, because they
Yeah,
went to
so
the
they
cloud or
say.
whatever, didn't they?
Yeah, well, it's Amazon. They've got more
Amazon
than one
Cloud.
location,
Yeah.
but I think you can pick where you want your data center. I think
Yeah.
that's the one they picked, the Seattle
Yeah.
AWS
Yeah.
location there.
But
So if you ping that area with your ping program, then you'll know more or less what the time is between you and Second Life.
yeah, we had that an issue, with the combat sims, and there was one, they were far apart geographically, and so we contacted Linden's, and they actually moved the server, and we quit having issues with crossing into the sim. So that was an old problem back in the old
Am I
days.
the only one that plays Star Citizen? Anybody else?
No, I've never played it.
Okay, I was just when you were talking about servers and stuff. There's I was just wondering. I thought maybe somebody else, because that's a big deal in Star Citizen.
I see. Yeah. Okay, we're past an hour here, so we'll wrap it up. Any other closing comments, AW?
Oh, nothing. I just wanted to show everyone the latest thing from my shop there. It's right outside. It's going to be the first of my
Which?
all
your motorcycle.
custom motorcycle script.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Vehicles. So most of the time people have ACS motors. This will not be ACS. This is going to be 100% me. Motorcycle
Nice.
script. So that's what's coming.
Looks nice. When do you expect to release it? Any idea?
A couple of weeks probably.
Okay. Looks
Yeah.
awesome. Flathead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
It's going to be called the Flathead Bobber.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll look forward to seeing a demo on a future podcast here.
Mm-hmm.
Bull.
Sound. Right now
Oh.
it's very silent.
Yeah, you were riding it around there earlier, and it seems weird seeing it move without sound, but
Yeah, no, Harley Davidson without the sound.
yeah, only in Second
I
Life.
had three of them. I had a lowrider, I had a street bob, and now I've got a 48
Oh, nice.
Roadster.
In real life?
What's that?
Real life or here?
No, that's real life. Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
had a what do they call those? It was first year of the Evolution engine. I had one on a 1340 Evolution.
That's cool.
Springtail Evolution. This is back in the 90s.
Yeah, I really love my street bob. I have no idea why I sold that, and I think every once in a while you start getting other hobbies, and then you say, well, I got to cut one hobby, but then you hear a Harley go by it, and you got to buy another one.
You get the fever.
Well,
Yeah,
I switched to road racing bikes, and then I switched to not riding motorcycles.
Well, I've been working on a boat. I've been trying to revamp a bass boat for about 2 years now, and that's keeping me kind of busy, but most of the time I'm just lazy ass.
That's a lot of work, though. But just think when you get it done, how much enjoyment you'll get out of it.
You know, I'd just as soon be working on it, though. You
Yeah.
know, that's kind of. But I love the water. I've spent most of my life on the water.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Had sailboats and
Nice.
I had a
Nice.
Mastercraft, but sold that about 10 years
yeah,
ago.
if you can afford one. Oh, wow.
Man,
Yeah, I sold that, but it was a nice ski boat, you know,
yeah,
real nice ski boat.
nice.
Yeah.
Kyle, you got any closing words for us?
Much. Looking forward to Sunday night.
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon. Come on out if you're able. If not, I hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll see you next time.
Okay. And Hikira, is Hikira saying anything? She got any comments for us,
I
Bo?
got nothing on my little box here. She's got a translator box up on the right of my screen, and if she's got something, she
Okay.
posts it up.
She says all good. I saw in text chat there. So, okay, Hikira, thanks for joining us. Not sure when our next one will be because I'm going to be on vacation here for a couple weeks, and we'll try to do one in 2 weeks. I think what is 2 weeks, August the 1st, but just pencil it in. It might have to be erased. So I'm going to cam on out here, and we're going to say so long for now. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you all next time.
Take care, everybody.
See you next time.